A storm is coming to Washington. Memory text. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality, and without hypocrisy. James 3 verses 16 and 17. The simple instruction the Holy Bible gives, that would bless every man, is ignored. This is because every man did that which was right in his own eyes, never doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord. As a result, the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. 1 Peter 4 verse 7. Every day brings a new display of man's depravity. Between both atheist and unrepentant Christian leaders, what is coming to our world is what boxers call the old 1-2. The first punch is simple. Atheist politicians and violent protesters and terrorist punks will bring the first of God's judgments against America. The criminal insanity seen in atheist politicians and journalists proves two things. 1. The spirit that refines the moral character of men has departed from those fully under Satan's control. 2. God's long-suffering and intervention for his wayward children is nearing its limits of forbearance. As it was in every fallen nation of the past, so will it be today. Thou hast forsaken me, saith the Lord. Thou art gone backward, therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee, and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. Jeremiah 15 verse 6. And once these displays of incessant abuse from wicked men, and silly women, laden with sins, then comes punch number 2. This judgment will be against an apostate church, whose unrepentant doctrine will cause the civilization of men to cease, unto the end of the earth. One is simply the stepping stone to the other. We know this from the prophecy of Rome in the 6th century BC. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which is Rome, following the kingdoms of Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece. It shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. Daniel 7 verse 23. Prophecy is clear. God's initial judgments that warn men of their precarious position will not change. As with the Jews of old, it is written, They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words, and they went after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant which I made with their fathers. Jeremiah 11 verse 10. They, like the atheists, will refuse the warnings of Christ on hypocrisy, stemming from the human frailty of pride. Their words are always the same: my sins are acceptable. Yours are not. By the churches refusing to repent of their sins against the second and fourth commandments, showing themselves to be as lawless as atheists, this unified rebellion will bring God's judgments on both. But the greater judgment falls to the apostate churches. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? 1 Peter 4 verse 17. It is as when the Lord declared that the children of Israel were more guilty of sin than the surrounding heathen nations. So Manasseh made Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to err, and to do worse than the heathen, whom the Lord had destroyed before the children of Israel. 2 Chronicles 33 verse 9. The prophets and apostles warned how the bloody history of the Roman Church, ruled by the Pope, would bring disgrace to Christ, and thus would give rise to atheism's dominance, as it is written, You have become guilty of the blood that you have spilled, and have corrupted yourself with your idols, which you have made, and you have caused your days to draw near, and have come, even unto your years. Therefore have I made you a reproach to the heathen, and a mocking to all countries. Ezekiel 22 verse 4. This is precisely the opinion we see from men today against the Christian faith. Neither Catholic or Protestant churches repent of how their actions gave the devil a free hand to lead society away from believing the existence of not only Satan, but also the God of our salvation. Hence, the mockery of Christians dominates the landscape. It has become so pronounced that Muslims are given greater allowance in our atheist-dominated society. The illogical rage against conservative Christians by atheist Democrats has become a violent clash in this evil generation. And Satan seizes every opportunity. The events that stand on the horizon of our day are going to change everything that we see as a normal life today. History tells of several times when enemies would unite to defeat a common foe. The most pronounced example was over the crucifixion of Christ. Although the Jews and Romans despised each other, they walked as one, to kill the one who came to rescue life itself. Even so, they used Christ as their scapegoat, to justify their own wickedness. It is as the Lord's parable of the husbandman concluded. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance." And they caught him, and cast him out of the vineyard, and slew him. Matthew 21 verses 38 and 39. And so will it be today. Both unrepentant Christians and atheists will unite to blame the obedient Christian who wouldn't force the will of anyone to worship God, let alone a pagan god. And when judgments against the hypocrites are unleashed, they will blaspheme the name of God, which hath power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory. Revelation 16 verse 9. Armageddon, which begins in the sixth of the 7 plagues, Revelation 16 verse 16, is simply the last campaign of men in their vain attempt to perpetuate sin, and force the only ones who obey the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus to either join them or die. Revelation 13 verse 15. They will use God's faithful children as the scapegoat to divert the guilt from their own wickedness, who always speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Psalms 28 verse 3. This hypocrisy of claiming virtue, while the spiritual wickedness that Paul warned of, dominates their every thought, word and deed, as they continue flattering themselves as independent thinkers. Their persistence to enforce sin on every man will only escalate the judgments of God, until sin reaches its conclusion. Christ will come and bring an end to the wickedness of the wicked. Satan's rule will meet its end. And the Lord will come to rescue those who are alive and remain, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast, unto the end. Hebrews 3 verse 14. This is where Bible literacy is the key to our victory over sin. Behind it all, what the Bible illiterate never learn, even in the church, is that all roads, spiritual, moral, and secular, lead to the hidden rule of Rome, as prophesied in Daniel, chapters 2 and 7, and Revelation, chapters 13 and 17. This is what the great reformers taught concerning Bible prophecy. To bend the knee to Rome is to deny God's call to come home, because like Rome, they obey the law of the Son God over the law of the Son of God. Therefore, it is inevitable that separation of church and state will be removed, just as we see the continuing assault on every American liberty. Knowing what is to come before it comes is half the battle. And while every wind of doctrine is blowing in every culture of the world, there is only one doctrine that leads to life eternal. Moses, who is alive in heaven today, as is Enoch, Elijah, and those raised with Jesus, calls to all men. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he. Deuteronomy 32 verses 1-4.